we are live. Episode 44 of Coffee with Night. Good morning, and how are you? I have a billion get rid of that one, get rid of that one, get rid of that one, get rid of that. All right. Now let's get this chat popped out. Pop out chat. Copy link. I know this is like a little ritual I have to do every morning, but it's easier to do it on the live stream than before, because for whatever reason, whenever I do it right before the live stream and I get set up early, and I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for things to, time to click down to the start time, it always has some sort of a malfunction. So it's just easier for me to do it, as it comes out. So I have news on the apartment. Another 2 weeks. They should have been done by like today or tomorrow. Another 2 weeks. Sorry guys, just conducting a little business. And I'm going to the shop today, which is great. So I wonder what... Oh, that looks awful. I wish I could find out when, at what point they're going to say, okay, we're going to take the thumbnail in 3, 2, click. Going live. Nope, don't do that. They do not do that for who knows what reason. So, where do I have to go here? Twitter. The Twitter! Make a tweet. Tweet. What? No. Go on here. Click. Alright, Twitter's being a butt. Are you gonna work for me now? Okay. Alright, and we are shared. Nope, not shared around. Now we're shared around. Okay. Alright, I don't need to worry about any of that jazz. Good. All right, and let's get the other close that out, pop this over, do that. We have one person watching. So, to whoever you are, good morning. It is an absolutely gorgeous day out. All right, well, I say it's a gorgeous day because it's starting to rain and drizzle, and it's finally starting to cool off. I'm a fat, hairy white guy. I don't do well in the heat. So spring and summer are not my friends. I am done with all of my prototyping for the masks. So I have that done, which is fantastic. I have to modify this pattern a wee bit. I'm not doing the pleats. I'm just going to do a wire. I tried the pleats. Pleats are too hard, too complicated, and I can't do that for $30. So I'm going to transfer that to to a piece of cardboard now. This is just heavier drawing paper. And we'll go from there. But yeah, we're starting full production. I should be able to do 5-6 masks a day. So that's going to be good. It's just the whole getting in, learning how to use a sewing machine, because I haven't touched a sewing machine since I was in middle school in home economics class. So I've watched like 400 videos on how to sew and sewing tips and blah, 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 and how to use the machine, and oh boy. But we're done. We're done. We're ready to roll. And I am excited for that. Ooh, and there are a few people in the chat. Let's move over to the chat. The chat. Father Knightsmith. Did I see that sewing machine that you tagged me in? I did. And I did look over it, and I did look it up on the internets to see what it could do and everything. And that would be a great machine for me if I had the space for it at this point. I just don't. Maybe in 6 months I will. But I'm at capacity for large tools. Like, I want to buy a Glowforge, I want to buy a CNC, I want to buy a 3D printer. I can't buy any of them. Not because I don't have the money anymore, it's because I don't have the space. So that's going to have to be something I'm going to change very shortly. But yeah, I'm glad it makes sense. It's one of those things that's frustrating. Realistically, to do all the woodwork and blacksmithing and now sewing and stuff that I'm doing, and the leatherworking, I need somewhere that's 4 to 5 times as big as what I have now. So I'm at a little bit of a catch-22, because I can't do a lot of orders in the space I have, but I need the orders in the space I have to afford the space I need. And ideally, like, the space I need is about 4 or 5 times as big as where I'm at. I don't know if I'd be able to do blacksmithing in the new space or not. Hopefully I could. And then also hopefully be closer to where I live on a normal basis, as opposed to being out in Kingston. So it's a bit of a weird area. That's why I'm doing like all the sewing here at my in-laws' house and the leather work here at my in-laws' house, and then I have all the woodwork at the shop. And then once we get the apartment fixed, I'll be moving the stuff here to my apartment. I'm just running out of space. You know, it's a shame, but there we go. So today, I said I'm going to the shop a few times. I'm going to be finishing up this magnificent bad boy. It is a Bloodwood Magic Card deck holder for a commander deck. So it's magnetic closure. You see, you can put your regular deck in there and the commander cards up there. Problem with this, I'm about 1/32 to 3/32 too small. I should have taken these boards, and instead of putting them on top of this, I should have put them on the outside. Small mistakes, but they are mistakes nonetheless, and I need to file this out and finish it. So I'm going to be doing that today, and then I am also going to be making an urn. Oh, what are your thoughts on this? You know, I don't mind having the exposed hardware. However, it's kind of a loud click, you know? So I'm thinking about taking a little piece of felt and just felting these areas right here. And then finishing everything else and leaving the wood, you know, as natural as I can. I think it would just make it just a little bit nicer. Or maybe felting this whole U in here, so it's not a big soundboard. I got that doing today, and then I'm also making an urn for dogs. My insurance salesman, she has a lot of ashes, and she wants to have them stored nicely, which I understand. A little sad, but at a certain point you want to store things nicely. So many messages, oh my god. Yeah, so you know, there's that. It's just it's a weird, I'm in a very weird area where everything else is concerned right now, and it's kind of strange. I'm in talks with one company to really expand Knightsmith in a vast and drastic way. So that's exciting and scary at the same time there too. So I don't know what all I'm going to be doing. In the next like 3 to 6 months. Hopefully, this whole thing will, you know, really start kicking into high gear, and I'll be able to do just this all the time. How cool would that be? But we'll see. I think I'm going to stop taking commissions very shortly. Because while these commissions, like this guy's fun and stuff, it takes a lot of time for not a huge payoff. So I want to start cutting back and start working on production things, and then making a ceiling, or not a ceiling, but a threshold for custom projects. That way I could focus my time instead of doing these, $80, $90 projects that take me a whole day. I can focus on projects that'll take me a whole week or 2 weeks that are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And I think that's really where I need to be. And then, making stock, pipes and stuff like that. Smart. Don't let dollars fly out of your pocket chasing nickels down the street. That's pretty much the same thing. It's just I need to scale back on what I'm doing as far as these small custom projects. I know there are some that I want to do, like that coughing pipe, which I think is going to be fantastic. But that's going to be an easy one. It's just a custom pipe with very little excess work to it. Whereas this thing, I have to do it completely from scratch. I've never done anything like it before, so there's no process. And, it's $120, but it's taken me 3 days. And now I still have to file it out because I made a mistake. It's not my bread and butter, so it's harder. And I'd rather spend that mental equity and a sweat equity on larger projects, or on creating a large backlog of stock. Like my pipes, I can make 10 or 15 pipe stems in an hour or 2 hours. Get all those blanks worked up, get all, like the acorn pipes for the $60 pipes, or the stove pipes, which are kind of like an L shape. I can do one of those every half hour. So if it's a $60 pipe and I'm making the piece in half an hour, my profit margins are way better, even if it is just a stock item and it's not super expensive. Same thing with all the leatherworking stuff. Not super expensive stuff, but they're fast, they're easy, and they don't go bad, and there's not a lot of thought equity, sweat equity into it. So So it's not that I don't want to do all these small projects. It's that I need to start restraining myself. Instead of picking up every, got the philosophy, bang on the banana. I've never heard that phrase before you started using it about 2 weeks ago. Never heard that before. But yeah, the thing is, I can only do so much, and I'd rather spend the time and the energy on either not mass producing, but microfacturing, 5 or 6 different product lines, or on one large project, as opposed to 5 or 6 small intensive projects. And then that way, if I do that and I get good at that, then I can sit back, pull back a little bit, and then take on 1 or 2 of those small little commissions that would be fun. Like this, I'm having a blast with this, but it's almost not worth it for me. But if I have, if I'm full up on commissions and I'm way over, my quota for the week or for the month, and then on top of all of that, I have some time, Yeah, I'll take on a small commission. No problem. Be nice and easy. So I need to find that balance, but I need to step away from the small stuff and go after the big things. At the same time, going after the big things means, and this is where we come back to that catch-22 about getting that second dedicated sewing machine for the leather. I don't have space for it. And doing those large projects is hard to do without lots of space. Already, almost any project I do that's bigger than this little box here spills out of the shop and into the common area. And you've seen that on a few videos. What I have now is good for doing small things, turning, pipes and boxes and stuff like that. Small artsy pieces. But furniture, oh boy, that's a whole different ballgame. So it would be a very, very beautiful thing if I had a space that was bigger. Because if I had a bigger space, then I could do bigger projects. And then, ideally, if it was close to home, I could even contact one or two people I know in the area that do woodworking. People I went to Johnson's with, people I went to high school with, some people I went to college with. I know they own their own little small-time wood shops. And maybe bring them on 1 day a week, 2 days a week. Pay them cash and have them either help me out or build projects by themselves that I tell them to build. Because a lot of the stuff I can train almost anybody to do most of what I do. If that makes sense. A lot of stuff I do isn't technical. The technical part of it is all in the thinking. Thinking's already done. So it's just a matter of execution for most of it. Like the pipes. I already know exactly how big I want them, how to cut them, how to do this, how to do that, blah, 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 blah. So it's not anything crazy. It's just a matter of doing it. I know that doesn't sound sexy. It's supposed to be like, oh, you're the guy who does everything, so there's a lot of thought in this. There's really not that much thought in it. All the thoughts up front. Like with this, making the patterns. Once the patterns are made, it's just trace them out, trace them, cut them, sew them, sell them. Not that much thought. This guy, a lot of thought up front. Real lot of thought up front. Now that it's built, I know exactly what I'm doing, and the next one is just go through the motions. Everything else, I already have patterns for everything else I've made. So it's not hard. It's just a matter of execution, which sometimes is the hardest part because it's easy. It's easy to get bogged down. It's easy to fall into a rut. It's easy to it's boring. It's not sexy. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to with a lot of the stuff. It's boring. It's not sexy. It's just, okay, I'm throwing another acorn pipe. Done. One down, 400 to go. And at a certain point, it's hard to keep engaged. I wish it was easier for me to keep engaged on doing small repetitive things. It's just not, though, unfortunately. I wish it was. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, I guess. Well, it goes deeper into what people think working for yourself is versus what it actually is. You know, you're not wrong there. Working for yourself really is a lot of tedium, at least until you get to the high level stuff, which is where I want to get to. Ideally, I would have between 3 and 5 employees, plus all the various subcontractors I would use. But one person just to do, you know, video editing and social media stuff and internet stuff. Stuff that I can do, but I'm not the best at. It's better to find someone who specializes in it. And then, you know, maybe one person to do all the leather work and 2 people to do the woodworking stuff. And then I would just be, you know, making the content, the raw content. I would be prototyping things. I would be going to meetings and selling things and trying to get myself, my fingers into a few more pies, and really have that churning out. Once I get to that point, it'll be a lot more fun. But you can't get to that point without some grind, unfortunately. And I know my brain gets bored with things very easily. Very easily. If I'm not thinking about 3 different things, I start to shut down, I guess, a little bit in my brain. So I need 3 plus going on in here at all times. But when you're sitting there doing one thing at a time and you can't think about anything else, because if you do, you might lose a finger. You know, just one of those things. Not much can be done about it either. But hopefully, I can actually switch the jaws on my vise today. I think it was my parents got me these pin jaws. So it's, you know, 4 little jaws that are really, really tiny. And they can clamp things that are really, really tiny, or they can open up inside of things that are really, really tiny. Most notably, they are less than 3/4 of an inch, which means I no longer have to use my jam chuck to turn pipes. I can use the pin vise jaws on my Nova chuck. And this might sound like I'm splitting hairs or whatever. Oh, a jam chuck, whatever, you're turning it. It makes a lot of difference. In both versatility and ease of use. Because a jam chuck, you need to pop it on there and get it on there hard, and if you hit something, it's just going to spin off and the piece can go flying. It doesn't make much difference with you know, little acorn pipes, because they're small and round and easy and no problem. However, when I'm starting to do bigger things or more complex things, it's going to make a big difference, just because of how everything is situated, how it works, blah 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 blah. So, but, you know, might try and do that today as well. So I have to finish that. I have to make an urn. So that urn I'm going to easily be able to make today. And that'll be a quick $90. Need to go shopping at Joann Fabrics. Now that I've gone through all of my cheap, flimsy material, it's time to get the real stuff. I'm going to get like 5 spools of thread. Because I don't want to run it. I ran out yesterday. I don't want to run out again. I'm thinking I'm going to get some florist wire or something for the nose. I'll either do that or get some aluminium, if you like those British phrases there, Joe, and do external strips with just, you know, 2 little sew lines. I'm not sure though. I am not sure what the best course of action is, but we'll figure it out. I have all the faith in the world that it'll get figured out sooner rather than later. So, I mean, it's not super difficult stuff that I'm doing today. Like, for the urn, I think I'm going to do box joints, which I made a jig on. I don't know if I'm going to video it or not today, but I think it'll be a very very easy project today, which I need a few easy projects every now and then. That doesn't mean I don't long for those days where I'm going to be, not only self-employed, but employing other people. That's the dream right there. Actually, on that thought, I need to bring these with me. The thread I like using. It's Coates & Clark, but it's upholstery thread. So it's really tough stuff. And it's 100% nylon, as opposed to what you normally use for sewing, which is it's usually 37% polyester and 63% cotton. Which, I mean, it is a nice thread, but it's not as tough, it's not as thick, it's not as durable as 100% nylon. Which actually, I think the Ritza Tiger thread, what I use for sewing the leather, I'm pretty sure that's 100% nylon too, and it's just waxed. Oh, that waxing makes such a big difference. Let me find out. Oh, 500 meter spool. Oh, geez. Well, actually, I can say that's a lot, but really, if I really start getting into stuff, it's less than $50 for 500 meters. It would be so worth it. To get that as opposed to the smaller spools. Just larger, better value. Does it say? No, they're not saying what it is. It really, oh, here it is. Finely braided 100% polyester thread. So this is braided instead of spun. But still, I mean, this stuff is awesome. So super nice. Weaver Leathercraft sells it. Except for that thin leather and some buckles, I'm really getting everything off of Weaver. I talk about them enough. I need to get a line out to those guys. Well, first, I think before I do that, I need to make some leather crafting videos. not just some free giveaways, but actually dedicated leather videos. You know? And then I can start doing that. Because they seem to sponsor quite a few people. And I don't have a huge audience, but I have a big enough audience, don't you think? 432 people right now. I have multiple people watching my live streams all the time, so it's definitely something there. And all the projects I've done for the giveaway or the leather stuff, because I can do that pretty quick. So I think I should contact them. I don't know. And since I'm going to be doing more than just woodworking anymore, I really think I need to dedicate or queue up content. Like every Friday was woodworking, pretty much. I did some other stuff in there, but it's mostly just woodworking. Now I think I can do one Friday a month or something is just leatherwork. What do you think? You think that would be a good split at this juncture? At least one Friday a month is leatherwork. See if I can get that sponsored. That way, then I could figure out on trying to get a so it's a once a month sponsor from this one company. I'm going to use all your stuff and sing your praises. Blah 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 blah. Don't know till you try. This is true. This is very true. I still need to get that I didn't read through any of the stuff that I looked up yesterday. It's still open on my machine, but I didn't look it up yesterday. Now, some of the stuff is gorgeous, though. It's just beginner's guide to foiling. This is really something that's on my mind, guys. Stamp Machine Company. This actually sounds like it might be the place to go. Much more expensive. Never mind. Not the company to go with. Their cheapest machine is $1,200. Can't do that. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. That's way too expensive. I'm looking for something that's like $200. At least less than 300. There's a certain level that I need to stay at. Would your shop that you're working allow you to shoot from there randomly? If no one's going to have a problem with it, then I would have a camera rolling on almost all the work that you do. That's pretty much what I do. I have my own little closed off area at the shop. It's a whole artists collective. So I have this one area that's kind of closed off. That's just Knightsmith. So the only problem is, there's not right now, but on a regular basis, there is a theater company that also uses the space. So I can't do any real talking bits there, except for the rare instance. As far as the work stuff goes, it doesn't matter. I have a ton of video already backlogged that I just need to sit down and get edited. I have like 2.5 months worth of project videos. But I want to shoot a few projects that are more topical right now and hit the wave. Make a few masks on the channel, show people how I kind of do it really sped up stuff, but fast, easy over stuff, kind of like an advert for what I do. And then from there, also shoot some leather work here, where I can control things a little bit. It'll be easy for me to do all that stuff and then get that out. The sooner I'm out with some of these things, the sooner I could look at other options or get more orders rolling or whatever. And unfortunately, I only have so much space and time on my phone. And a lot of these small things I don't want to video just because it'd be really hard and difficult to figure out all the good camera angles on this one small little project, and it'll triple the amount of time on a small project. On a large project, not so bad, because a lot of things I can set the camera up in one location and just kind of roll with it. So there is that. And of course, if I had someone there filming or someone to edit for me, why wouldn't I just dump as much information at them as possible? But again, one of those things that I just can't do everything with, but I can do a lot. That makes sense to you. Still looking at some here, foil machines. How my brain works is once I get something stuck in my craw, I have to do it or fully explore the idea, or else it just burns away at me, It is dangerous when I get things stuck in my craw. Not dangerous as in dangerous, but well, yeah. See, this one, I might have found one. It's 350, which not happy about that price. But it looks like it has everything I need. Let's see, 52 alphabet numbers, letters, 20 symbols, T-slot, 13 centimeter fixture, leather thickness 7.5 to 8 millimeter, engraving depth 2.8 to 3 millimeter, 1-year warranty, upgrade version, heating, ironing work based on what is assembled. If you take it out, you can use a customized mold. If not, you can use copper letters mold. The scale printing, application is used for bronzing, indentation, and branding of leather products, rubber products, technical products, plastic products, paper, and other surfaces. So I would need to get this machine and then find a way to get this also get a made for it, a Knightsmith brass Knightsmith logo that fits in that T slot, and then I could really ramp out some stuff. Oh yeah. And Mike, if you're watching, I still haven't gotten that phone number from you. Which the sooner I get that, the sooner I can get that thing made and start stamping stuff, even though it's not leather working, or not hot foil stamping. I could at least put my mark on things and start getting things rolling that way. So I need to call you later today on that. But we'll figure that out as the day goes. Alright guys, well I think that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. I could go through the YouTube stuff, I could go through the news stuff, but I don't think it's gonna happen today. You know, it's almost 9:50. I think that's a good day. 50 minutes, beautiful timing. You know, all that jazz and all that jazz. So I need to go through all those things today. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. I need at least 3 things with, my brain cooking. Here you go. 3 different projects to do today, and some shopping for some of this and some video stuff, and talking to you and talking to Mike, and leather printing and 3D printing stuff. Always multiple things going on. Otherwise, I just start shutting down. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for the day. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it stays nice and cool. Like I said, I'm a fat, hairy white boy, and I don't enjoy the heat. So I hope it stays nice and cool today. I hope your day is fantastic. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Thank you for helping me make this world better, one kerf at a time, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.